What's up, everybody? Thank you for watching another episode of inJOY with Ty and Taryn and Taylor and you name it.
You name it!
I knew you was gonna say that.
I had to. I didn't know you were gonna say it, but I was gonna say it regardless. Oh,
that's funny.
You're made for me.
Yep. Man, you throw me off.
As you can see by the title, this is the testimony of how we purchased our home.
We are here. If you saw the last video, you realize that, yeah, of course we said that we are in a new space, a new place. And so in this video, we just wanted to share with you some of that process. Hopefully it encourage and be a blessing to somebody who's listening, who's watching, first-time home buyer, somebody who's looking for a bigger house, somebody's looking to go to the next phase. Even if it's something that doesn't have to do with home buying, just somewhere along the process, something that's going to help you for that new thing, for that new phase or something, whatever you've been trying to do or believe in God for. Yeah, so it's been a blessing, this whole process, and so that's what we want to share with you today. Let's go.
Let's get started. So we moved to Charlotte in April of 2017 this year, and we decided that, you know, before we rush into purchasing another home, because we had a home in Richmond, as some of you probably seen in the previous videos, and so we sold that home, and coming to Charlotte, we didn't want to rush to jump into another home. We kind of just wanted to wait. We wanted to learn the area. We wanted to, you know, being that we're also here for ministry, wanted to make sure that where we were going to be living was going to be, you know, convenient for what God has called us to do here. And so we decided to just do a 6-month lease. And actually we loved our apartment. Like, the apartment was bomb, 3-bedroom apartment. It was even a testimony for that because we were supposed to get a 2-bedroom, but they honored the price of the 2-bedroom and gave us a 3.
The 6-month lease would have put us at October.
October,
right?
And it's October now.
It's October now.
So we're in the house, and we've been in the house for a month.
So this is kind of what happened. We were in the apartment, and it's funny because one thing I shared with Taryn, when we pull up to the apartment, we had 2 cars out there. And so I told her one day, I was like, do you notice that we're one of the only cars in this whole complex parking with our back end? So our front end was facing out from the apartment. Yeah. And so you're probably thinking like, okay, what?
You're being a little deep now.
Yeah, I'm a beat. But this is what came to me that day. I'm just thinking like, you notice that we're the only ones. Like, I wonder how many people are comfortable here. You know what I mean? I wonder how many people are like, you know, not that I can't get a house or not that I don't want to get a house, but I'm comfortable. So with us backing in, the way it came to me was just like, you know, we're not staying here. Right. Or you know, this is not our place of dwelling. This is not the place where we're gonna stay. And so my thing from that point on was like, well, I'm not pulling in front forward. You know, I'm back in. That way I know that I'm not staying here. I'm on my way to somewhere else. Anyway, deep people, y'all can be deep with that. Shallow people, you can throw it in the trash, do whatever you want with it. But that's what we did. That was our stance. But that's where our mindset was at. That's where our faith was at. And so being, you know, now that I said that sets the tone for where our faith was. So now in May, or was it July? I mean, June. It was
like June where we began to just talk among each other to say, okay, let's plan this out. You know, we're planning to do this. You know, God had already kind of showed us some things for the ministry, some things for expanding our family, and he began to give us wisdom. Okay, what would be the best time to start the house hunting process? Right,
and so it's still early in the game. It's not even close to October, really.
It was June.
And, you know, consider we just moved to a new city. In a new state. We left our extended family, left my job. We're in a new place. We're putting Taylor in a new school. Everything is brand new. Trying to factor in, trying to get acclimated to the area. Still commuting to Richmond every other week or every 3 weeks. You know what I mean? And so factoring all of that in, and then try to say, all right, let's go try to find a house. Yeah. Where do you find time for that? Yeah. You know what I mean?
How you do that?
So that's where our mindset was, just like, you know what? I feel like there's something here. You know, let's just start looking. Let's start. You know what I mean? Let's just see what happens. Let's see what's out there. Let's see what we are approved for, and just see what happens.
And that's exactly what we did. We just first, of course, started the loan application process and, you know, got all of that taken care of. And that was even favored just with how easy and smooth that process was. I'm going to shout out the company that we went through. Shout out
they
to
were good.
Movement Mortgage. They are bomb over
Jasmine Bledsoe, I want to give you a shout out. We don't normally do shout outs and name dropping, but
but one of my friends works there, and I didn't even know about Movement Mortgage until we went to lunch with her one day, and she said that's who she works for. So I began to look into them, and I really like the way that they do business.
And we were looking for a realtor.
A realtor, yeah.
So I want to shout out a couple more people if I can.
Yes, yeah.
So the homie Mikhail lives here in Charlotte, and I know she won't mind. And I can't remember.
Homes.
Is it True Homes? Yep. Look her up if you're in this area. Even if you're not, look her up. But she put in a plug for us with a guy here named AJ. Who
with Ramsey Group.
Yeah, with the Ramsey Group. We'll shout them out too, because everybody we
Keller
work
Williams.
with.
Is it Keller Williams?
The Ramsey Group, Keller Williams,
the Ramsey Group.
Something like that.
Yeah.
But even since we've been in this house, man, they keep sending us mail like, hey, we're having a party. Hey, we got some free stuff. Hey, let us know if y'all need anything.
Yeah.
But they've been amazing. So we just want to shout out a few people for that real quick. But yeah, so we got a realtor. Still commuting back and forth to Richmond every other week. During that time frame, we also made a trip to Ohio. We also made, I think, 2 trips to Alabama during that span, right?
Yeah.
During that whole, while we were looking for a house.
Yep.
So it's not even like we were going out actively looking like every day or every weekend, because we weren't even in town.
Yeah, I mean, I did my own research, because that's even how we, you know, when we were in Richmond, how we kind of found our house before. That I was just on the internet, on Zillow. That's kind of the app that I use, and then it was another app. I was just always on there looking, because what was interesting is, like, we talked about what we wanted this time around for our home, and certain things like were like deal breakers. Certain things was like, okay, I really want this, but I can kind of bend a little bit on it. So with the real estate agent that we went through, of course, they have their own database that they send homes to us that meet our standards or our desires, our price range, all of that. And so, you know, I would be looking at that, looking at the other apps, and just kind of weighing out things. And, you know, when we did see a house that we were interested in, we, you know, sent it over to our realtor and try to set up a day and time to go see the house. And we probably looked at a few homes.
We only looked at probably, I think it was 7.
Probably 7.
I think this house was the 7th house, I believe.
Or
possibly 8.
But before we get there, actually, you all, we actually put an offer on another home. So this is the interesting thing, and you can go into detail.
All right, so we started going out to see homes with our realtor, which was an awesome connect for our friend Mikhail to send us to this guy. She said, hey, I recommend this guy. You know, he's a really good guy. We met him. Come to find out, he's a believer as well. So immediately we connected off of that fact. But then he was just a cool guy and really understanding. Just like, look, I'm not in it for the money, you know, so to speak. But I really want you guys to get the house that you want. If you don't like it, don't feel bad about telling me you don't like it.
Right.
You know what I mean? Don't feel pressured. I want you to get the house that you want. And so
that process started in July. That's where we kind of
started in July. We're going to all these houses. And every house we went to, we would only decide to go see it if it checked off
what we wanted,
most of the stuff that we wanted anyway. And if it didn't have a couple things, it was like, okay, but let's still go check it.
Right.
So we went to a few homes. Some it was like, you know, this is a beautiful house in the pictures, but then it was like the neighborhood coming in.
Yeah, or something in the home that was kind of like, I don't like that, or, you know, just those things that were like deal breakers for us.
Yeah, and there were a few deal breakers. Everybody has them. It doesn't matter what ours are, whatever yours are. You know, it was just, you know, a couple minor minor deal breakers. Yeah. So long story short, we put an offer. We find a home. We like the neighborhood. We like the home. It has ample space.
The location was nice.
The location was great. And so we liked the home so much that we went home, prayed about it, thought about it, talked to our realtor, and put in an offer.
And we had peace about it. But I believe the day after we put in the offer for that particular home, what was interesting, I think praying that morning, and I was just like kind of just making sure, like, okay, Lord, I know we did this, and I know you gave us peace for it, but I started to feel like some type of way, like, you know, are we shorting ourselves, or are we not maximizing, you know,
are we settling?
Are we settling? You know, because the house was nice, but just being in our honesty, where the house that we had before was like a whole lot better than this particular house that we put the offer in on. But and I think we had a conversation like later that same day, and Ty began to share the same exact thing about, you know, feeling some type of way about it. We didn't really know what it was at that moment. Yeah. But we felt something.
I still had, like, we both still had a peace about it. It was just like, if this is what God is doing, then we'll go with it. And one of the things that came to me as well was, this is a setup. Yeah. I didn't know what that meant, but that's what I heard. Call it deep if you want to, but that's in, like, when I was praying, that's what came to me, was this is a setup. And so I shared it with Taryn, and I'm like, okay, well, God has given us peace about it, so let's just move forward with it. And then, you know, maybe God is using this as a stepping stone. We're gonna get into this house. Then, you know, he's gonna set that up, or set it up with somebody else that we might meet there. That's gonna set us up for what we really want.
Yeah, and so we were at peace about that, and we were just like, okay, Lord, you know, my thing was like, Lord, you know, I'm gonna trust you with this. And what I believe happened was, well, what happened with that particular house that we put the offer on, they came back with a counter offer. Mind you, this house had not had any offers, and it had been on the market for, what, a couple of weeks already or something?
Which, in the market here in Charlotte, they don't last 3 days.
Yeah. So if you see it, it's like, go ahead and put the offer on it, which is, you know, one of the reasons why we did. Of course, more so having peace about everything, but they came back with a counter offer to us, and we were in agreement, and we decided, okay, nope, we're not going to pay you that much for this particular home. And so what I believe God showed us just with that whole process, it's like, why would God even do that? You know, why would we have to go through that process knowing that wasn't even the house, you know? But God taught us something even in that. He taught us, for one, to trust him, to continue to be in agreement with each other, to have peace, and to not get caught up in the appearance of, you know, where we came from, and, you know, even having our families come and saying like, oh, well, y'all used to have this house is a whole lot better. And our families wouldn't do that to us, but it was just something within our hearts that I feel like God revealed, and he taught us some things, and he tested us to see, can you be trusted even if I tell you to go this way? And it was like we stayed firm, we, you know, were led by God, and we trusted him. And of course, the house, that wasn't the house that we ended up with. Yeah. So
it was one of those feelings like, God, if this is what you want for us, then that's exactly what we want. Right. But deep down, it was like this feeling like, but I know there's more. But God, if this is what you want for me, then I'm all for it. So we're still looking for houses. We get ready to go on a trip.
Vacation.
We took an early anniversary trip. Our anniversary is October 20th. We took an early trip because we knew that we'd be busy this month. So we go down there, and on the way down,
this guy,
we were just laughing. I was just like, man, you know what? Wouldn't it be crazy if God just had us find our house while we are on vacation?
So the second to the last day, Ty sees a house online. It was like early in the morning, I believe.
And let me say this too. When it comes to that house search, I have, you know, different little things that I want to see in the house. But Taryn is like, I'll come with something, and I'm like, babe, check out this house, and she'll look like, So it was one of those things where I saw it, and I was like, oh, ain't no way she could live. I'm like, this right here. It was one of those things where I didn't have any thought or doubt about it. I was like, when she sees this, she's going to be like, we got to do something.
So he brings the picture to me, tells me to pull it up or whatever. And so I look at it, and I'm like, okay, check. You know, and so I'm like, okay, I gotta see. I want to see, you know, is this something else about this house that we don't know? It just come on the market. So that was another thing too. And I believe when it came on the market, it was like Friday, right? No, Saturday. Because he ended up calling our realtor or sending him the house and was like, we are interested in this house. We're not there, but can you FaceTime?
And I told him, I was like, man, this might sound crazy.
Right.
I was just like, but you know, we're considering this house even if we're not there.
Yes.
Which I thought was ridiculous. Taryn thought it was ridiculous.
I'm like, what
but
in the world are we doing here?
We're praying about it, and both of us had this peace, just like.
And we were in agreement.
And I asked her, I said, how do you feel about it? She asked me, how do you feel about it? And I'm just like, I feel like, you know, we should go after it, because there's all the houses we saw, there was not one that we both. Yeah. There might have been one that I said I like it. Might have been one she said she liked, and I was like,
both really.
Both of us were like, yes, we believe that this is our house, and that, you know, this is what we'll go after. We talked to our realtor. He's laughing. He's just like, I've only experienced this one time where somebody put an offer on a house but did not see the house. So it's the next day. The house has only been on the market for a day, barely 24 hours. He goes to the house, pulls up his phone, does FaceTime. He walks through the house. Very professional, real good guy, you know, giving us some of his concerns and his thoughts. You might want to check this. Might want to look at that. You know, I don't know about this. You can't see it on the screen, but this is here, that's not, this is not. And so he was really good about that. Mind you,
this house already had, he told us that it already had some multiple offers on it.
Already, after one day. One day
being on the
these houses go.
They go quick.
Down here.
So he, you know, we talked about it. We were like, all right, we're at peace about it. Let's do it. And so a good piece of advice that our realtor gave us was to also write a letter to the sellers.
Clutch.
Very clutch.
When I tell you.
So when I tell you, my husband here like wrote a letter that was so beautiful and from the heart, and just really shared, you know, about us and who we are as a family and what we desire to do. It was like, man, I don't see how they couldn't accept that offer for this house.
One of those things that our pastor Bishop Robertson always talks about is having that edge, being on the cutting edge. And so his thing was, you need, our realtor, his thing was, you need that edge. You need that thing that separates you from the crowd.
Right.
And so, you know, we wrote this letter.
Added pictures to it.
So,
oh my goodness.
So we did put in an offer.
Yeah.
But we added a letter with the offer.
Right.
The very next morning, we get a call, and the realtor is like, hey, you guys want to hear some good news?
I'm like, when people say that, like, but he was so calm with it, so it was just like, okay, he didn't say bad news, so I'm like, okay, you know, get my mind ready to hear what he had to say. But he shared with us that they accepted our offer on our house.
Going crazy.
Oh my goodness! Look, we might have to show the boomerang clips that we recorded while we were in our condo.
Here we go. Ready, set, go. That's it.
That's all you're gonna get. We were super excited.
So keep in mind, it's still, when we got that news, was it late July?
Yes,
it had been late July.
Yeah, it was like, late July. So of course we started the house hunting process like early July. I would say it was at least like 21 days from us starting to look at homes, like actually physically go to homes and finding the home
to put a contract
on it.
Have a contract accepted.
And contract accepted. So 21 days.
Then we closed about a month later.
Yes.
So now we've been in the house. It's the beginning of October now, so we've been in the house about a month and a week.
We closed on our house on August 29th.
A month and a half.
Yeah, we closed on August 29th. So it hasn't been.
Yeah, it's been a month. It's been a month and a half.
Wow, the time is flying, but some of my favorite things about the house, for me, number one is the porch, because I wanted a house with a porch this time around. Of course, I wanted a house with a deck and space for Taylor and her new sibling to play. And so just the number of bedrooms that we have space for when our family wants to come and visit. What about you? What are some of the things that you like?
It sounds kind of weird, but I wanted a fire pit. And my dad brought it to my attention. I thought it was interesting because in our other home,
in our previous home,
I actually built a fire pit, custom fire pit. It was kind of small and you know what I mean.
It was nice.
Somehow threw together,
Nice.
but it was but it worked though.
Yeah.
So it's interesting because I left that there. You know, what I mean, I kind of built it into the ground, not cemented, but I left it there though. And then my dad was like, "Look, you done sold a you know, fire pit into somebody else's home. You left yours there, and then you get here, and somebody did this thing professionally. When I'm talking about,
it's really
they laid a little cement walkway out to it. It's all cement under it. Built up a nice bench, wooden bench around it. It's beautiful. It's a lot of space in the backyard. Fenced in backyard for Taylor
nice
to
neighborhood.
run around.
Neighbors are nice. It's quiet.
Another thing I wanted was like an extra room, just like a room for us to do anything creative. If Taylor wants to run around, if I want to watch a game, I don't got my man cave yet, but it's coming. But this room would serve for that purpose as well. But on top of that, space for when our family comes in town, we now have more square footage and more bedrooms, which I'm like, man, God, how did you do that?
So
how did you do that?
You know, glory to God.
Come through, Jesus.
He did it. Like,
come through.
Just with us being in this home, I walk through my house. It's a pleasure for me to wake up in the morning to, you know, have the space that I need to come downstairs to, you know, just have this space and this peace in this home.
There was a couple things that we fixed up on the house when we moved in.
Yeah, as soon as we
but
moved
we didn't
in.
allow that to intimidate us.
Right,
we saw
that's
through.
good.
We saw everything else that we wanted. It was like, this is beautiful. So now when we look at something that needs painting, when we need a pipe that needs to be repaired, when we look at a wall with, you know, some scratches on it, you know what I mean, some of those minimal things, it's like, okay, I can see past that. And so we did some work once we got in here, but it was well worth it.
It's not fully decorated or even fully furnished just yet, but even with that, like that, we're having faith for that as well. Like the projects and the things that we want to do, any renovations.
You give us more house, and you gotta believe for it to fill it up.
you gotta believe for God to fill it up. And so even with that, it's like as soon as we put our mind to, okay, we want to paint this, or we want to get this repaired, or we want to purchase this, it's like we get it in our minds, we look it up, we do our research to see how much it costs, and we start preparing for it. And every single time, it's like God has been meeting us with that desire that we have in our heart. We're not letting any of that intimidate us. It's like, no, what is the price? Because I know that my God will supply all of my needs. And so,
it seems like every single time we set our minds to something to do it and we start planning it out, He comes through every time. Come through, Jesus.
Yes.
Come through.
Well, this is probably a longer than normal video, but we hope that you stayed and watched to the very end. And we hope that it has blessed you, has encouraged you, and just even opened your eyes and mind, or, you know, even if you're going through this process now of house hunting, you know, the house hunting process, don't get discouraged. God has the space, the timing right. He has everything under His control. Just continue to trust Him and walk forward, move forward. Don't give up, and don't allow, you know, what else is going on outside, you know, of that to distract you or deter you or make you shrink back and want to give up on it. But continue to trust God. He will provide.
The doors of the church are open.
Come, will there be one? Come to the Lord.
But thanks for watching. Hopefully it blessed you. All right, you all. Until our next video, we will see you later. Bye.